Prepare yourselves to gain a newfound appreciation for the unsung heroes who take on the toughest jobs the world have to offer. From extreme physical demands to mental and emotional endurance, these individuals tackle tasks that push the boundaries of human capability. Here are the top 15 hardest jobs in the world. Number 15. Bomb Disposal Technician. Even the name of this job sends a shiver down your spine, and the thought of it puts you in serious danger of losing control of your bodily functions. Being a bomb disposal technician is undoubtedly one of the most challenging and perilous professions in the world. These brave individuals put their lives on the line every day to ensure the safety of others by neutralizing explosive devices, displaying a unique combination of skills, knowledge, and nerves of steel. Dealing with explosive devices inherently carries the potential for catastrophic consequences, and these technicians must meticulously analyze, evaluate, and dismantle a wide range of explosive devices, from improvised explosive devices or IEDs to unexploded ordnance. The slightest misstep or miscalculation can have devastating consequences, underscoring the immense pressure they operate under. It's no surprise that the job requires extensive technical expertise and specialized knowledge. These disposal technicians must have a deep understanding of explosive materials, detonation mechanisms, and various bomb types. They undergo rigorous training to learn how to assess and render safe explosive devices using complex tools, robotics, and protective gear. Not only that, but the ever-evolving nature of bomb-making techniques means they must continuously update their knowledge and skills to stay ahead of potential threats. And if the bombs don't kill you, then the stress just might. They often work in hazardous and unpredictable situations, such as conflict zones, where time is of the essence. The need for quick decision-making, problem-solving, and adaptability is paramount, and they must remain calm and focused under extreme pressure, even when faced with complex and unexpected scenarios. The nature of their work exposes them to the constant threat of harm and death. They witness the aftermath of bombings, experiencing the human toll and devastation firsthand, which takes a toll on their mental well-being, requiring them to have a robust support system and access to mental health resources. Number 14. Underwater Welder. Welding underwater? Is that even possible? Yes, it is, and not only possible, but incredibly difficult. Underwater welding is an exceptionally challenging and demanding profession that requires a unique set of skills, physical endurance, and mental resilience. As the name would suggest, underwater welders perform welding tasks in the depths of the ocean, facing a multitude of hazards and difficulties that make their job extremely hard. One of the primary challenges of underwater welding is the hostile underwater environment itself. Working at depth exposes underwater welders to high water pressure, extreme temperatures, and reduced visibility. The immense pressure exerted by the water can have severe physiological effects on the human body, such as nitrogen narcosis and decompression sickness. Additionally, working in cold water can cause hypothermia, adding another layer of risk to the job. These underwater welders must endure those harsh conditions while maintaining their focus and precision. The very nature of the work presents numerous difficulties. Welding underwater requires specialized equipment and techniques, so the welders must be skilled in both diving and welding, possessing expertise in the welding process and knowledge of materials that are suitable for these underwater conditions. They often work in confined spaces too, surrounded by complex underwater structures, pipelines, or offshore platforms, adding further complexity. The limited visibility underwater makes it challenging to access the quality of the welds and identify potential defects, requiring exceptional attention to detail. Now, of course, safety is a big deal, and underwater welders must take extensive precautions to prevent any accidents and ensure their own well-being. The risks of electrical shock, equipment failure, and the potential for entanglement in underwater hazards are constant concerns. They must also adhere to strict safety protocols and be trained in emergency procedures, including proper communication and evacuation in case of an accident. The weight of the diving gear, coupled with the resistance of the water, requires substantial physical strength and endurance. They must also have excellent buoyancy control and be able to maneuver with precision in challenging underwater environments. So yeah, that's quite a resume before you even start your first day. Number 13. Oil rig worker. Do you like isolation? Explosions? Drowning? No? Then maybe don't apply for a job on an oil rig. This is widely recognized as one of the toughest and most demanding jobs in the world. Oil rig workers face numerous challenges and hardships, both physically and mentally, because they labor in remote and unforgiving environments to extract valuable resources from beneath the Earth's surface. And the physical demands to the job are immense. Oil rig workers endure long hours of physically demanding labor in extreme weather, often performing physically strenuous tasks such as heavy lifting, operating machinery, and working at great heights. And the work is physically exhausting, requiring a high level of stamina and strength. Also, the constant exposure to noise, vibrations, and harsh offshore environments can take a toll on the workers' bodies, leading to fatigue and increased risk of injury. Oil rig workers face constant risks and hazards. They work with highly flammable materials and operate heavy machinery, which poses significant danger if not handled properly. The risk of accidents such as explosions, fires, and equipment failures is ever present. Additionally, offshore rigs are located far from immediate medical attention, exacerbating the consequences of accidents and injuries. And of course, there's the overwhelming sense of being alone in the middle of the ocean. Isolated and confined living conditions on oil rigs can have a significant impact on the mental well-being of workers. Living in close quarters with limited personal space and privacy for extended periods can be mentally challenging, and workers often experience isolation from their families and friends due to being away from home for long periods of time. The demanding work schedule and the pressure to perform under challenging circumstances can also lead to high levels of stress and mental fatigue. Working on an oil rig involves adhering to strict safety protocols and regulations, and workers must undergo rigorous training to ensure they're well prepared for emergency situations. Number 12. Loggers. Logging workers, often referred to as lumberjacks or timber cutters, face one of the most hazardous occupations in the world. Working in dense forest and rugged terrain, they are exposed to numerous dangers and life-threatening situations on a daily basis. From falling towering trees to operating heavy machinery, logging workers confront risks that require immense skill, caution, and constant vigilance. The unpredictable nature of their work environment, coupled with the use of sharp tools and powerful equipment, makes logging one of the most dangerous professions in the world. In addition to the physical hazards, logging workers are susceptible to long-term health issues. Constant exposure to loud noise from chainsaws and heavy machinery can result in hearing loss, while prolonged exposure to vibrations from equipment can lead to nerve damage and musculoskeletal disorders. Moreover, the repetitive motions and strenuous physical exertion involved in logging can take a toll on your body, leading to chronic back pain, joint problems, and other debilitating injuries. The combination of immediate dangers and long-term health risks makes logging one of the most perilous professions, requiring a high level of skill, expertise, and safety protocols to mitigate the inherent dangers. Number 11. Alpinist. Alpinism, or the art of climbing mountains, is widely regarded as one of the most challenging and demanding professions in the world. It requires a unique combination of physical strength, mental fortitude, technical expertise, and unwavering determination due to the numerous obstacles and risk taken, which makes their job incredibly difficult and dangerous. The physical demands of alpinism are immense. Climbing mountains often involves scaling vertical walls, traversing treacherous terrain, and enduring extreme weather. So alpinists must possess exceptional endurance, strength, and agility to navigate those landscapes. The high altitudes adds another layer of difficulty, as the thin air makes breathing and exertion much more challenging. Needless to say, physical fitness and stamina are paramount to overcome those obstacles. The mental challenges, however, are just as immense as the physical. Alpinists often spend weeks or even months in isolated and hostile environments, cut off from the comfort and safety of civilization. They must possess unwavering focus, mental resilience, and the ability to make split-second decisions under intense pressure. This constant exposure to risk, such as avalanches, rock falls, and extreme cold, require great mental strength to stay calm and composed. But what good would a cool head do if you didn't have the necessary skills? Technical expertise is crucial for alpinists. They must possess a deep understanding of mountaineering techniques, including rope management, ice climbing, rock climbing, and navigation. The ability to assess the stability of snow and ice, read weather patterns, and plan routes is vital for their survival. Each mountain presents its own unique challenges, and alpinists must adapt their skills and knowledge accordingly. The inherent risks of falling, getting trapped, or encountering hazardous conditions are ever present. The alpinists face the constant threat of injury or even death, and they often witness the perils of their profession firsthand. They must be prepared for emergency situations, carry specialized equipment, and be skilled in rescue techniques to handle unforeseen circumstances. Number 10. Wildlife Photographer. Well, this one sounds like a nice, easy-going job, right? Out in Mother Nature taking photographs of her beautiful creatures. But no, there's more to this job than meets the eye. Wildlife photography is certainly a captivating and rewarding profession that allows photographers to document and showcase the beauty of the natural world. However, it's also an incredibly challenging and demanding job that requires a unique set of skills, patience, and dedication due to the unpredictable and elusive nature of the subjects. Wildlife photographers often spend countless hours, days, or even weeks waiting around for the perfect moment to capture a particular animal or behavior. Animals can be shy, camouflaged, or extremely cautious, making it difficult to approach them without disturbing their natural behavior. As such, photographers must possess an in-depth understanding of animal behavior, habitats, and movement patterns to increase their chances of capturing a remarkable image. They also work in remote and harsh conditions and may even have to trek through dense forests, climb mountains, or endure extreme weather conditions. When you combine this with long hours of waiting and observing, extreme temperatures, biting insects, and uncontrollable terrain while remaining silent and patient for the perfect shot, it becomes clear that this isn't exactly a walk in the park. Number 9. Highrise Window Cleaner. If you don't like heights, then this job would be at the very top of your nope list. These fearless individuals brave dizzying heights to ensure the windows of towering skyscrapers are clean and sparkling. This job is exceptionally hard due to the inherent risks, the physically demanding nature of the work, and the specialized skills required. These workers navigate the exteriors of towering buildings, often suspended from ropes, scaffolding, or cradles. The sheer height and vertigo-inducing environments can be extremely intimidating and mentally taxing, and window cleaners must conquer their fear of heights and maintain focus and composure while working at precarious heights for extended periods. The job also requires physical strength, stamina, and agility. High-rise window cleaners often need to climb ladders, maneuver heavy equipment, and lean out over the ledges to access windows. And they must therefore be in excellent physical condition to withstand the physical demands of the job. The exertion, combined with the exposure to the elements such as the wind and extreme temperatures, can be physically exhausting. They must also be trained in utilizing special equipment such as Boschen chairs, scaffolding, and powered platforms, and must understand the intricacies of rope work and rigging. Safety is the paramount importance, and window cleaners must adhere to strict protocols to prevent accidents or falls, especially when it comes to weather-related challenges. They often work in open-air environments exposed to wind, rain, or extreme temperatures, and these adverse weather conditions can impact visibility, create slippery surfaces, and increase the risk of accidents. No thanks. Number 8. Air Traffic Controller. Alright, now you might think these guys just sit around all day drinking coffee and staring at radar screens, but once again, you should never judge a book by its cover. Air traffic controllers have one of the most demanding and high-pressure jobs in the world, playing a critical role in ensuring the safety and efficiency of our air travel, guiding aircraft through complex airspace systems. The job of an air traffic controller is exceptionally hard due to the immense responsibility, the need for constant focus and concentration, and the ability to make split-second decisions. Just think of that responsibility for countless lives. These people are entrusted with the task of preventing mid-air collisions and maintaining a safe distance between aircraft, so the consequences of even a minor error can be catastrophic. Emphasizing the need for precision, accuracy, and vigilance in their work, they must possess exceptional situational awareness, the ability to multitask, and the skill to handle high-stress situations calmly. They must make quick judgments based on rapidly changing information, weather conditions, and complex flight patterns, and are responsible for managing the flow of air traffic, coordinating takeoffs and landings, and ensuring the orderly movement of aircraft. The mental workload and the need for constant focus and attention can be mentally and emotionally draining. Air traffic controllers work irregular hours, including overnight shifts, weekends, and holidays, and must be available around the clock to handle emergency situations, unexpected events, or changes in flight schedules. The irregular work schedule can disrupt their sleep patterns and personal life, contributing to physical and mental fatigue. I salute those guys. Moving on to number 7, Smokejumper, Wildland Firefighter. Smoke jumpers are elite firefighters who parachute into remote and rugged areas to combat wildfires, and they face some of the most challenging and dangerous conditions imaginable. The job of a smoke jumper is really hard due to the physical demands and the hazardous nature of the work. The mental and emotional stress they endure is overwhelming. They must possess exceptional physical fitness, strength, and stamina to endure these grueling tasks associated with firefighting, not least the requirement to carry your heavy gear, hike through difficult terrains, and work in some extreme weather. They often work long hours, battling the intense heat and smoke while performing physically strenuous activities to contain and extinguish wildfires. Smoke jumpers face an unpredictable and rapidly changing fire condition, including high winds, steep slopes, and limited visibility. The risk of injury or death from falling trees, debris, or burns is a constant threat, and so smoke jumpers must undergo extensive training to acquire the necessary skills to assess risks, navigate challenging landscapes, and make critical decisions in high-pressure situations. Moreover, smoke jumpers must be mentally and emotionally resilient. They work in high-stress environments where split-second decisions can mean the difference between life and death. They must remain calm and focused while facing intense heat, smoke, and the threat of the fire rapidly spreading. The mental and emotional toll of witnessing the destruction caused by wildfires, the loss of property, and the impact on communities is significant. Props to the smoke jumpers. Number 6. Deep-sea fishermen. We all know that the sea can be a weird and dangerous place, especially in the deep parts, and deep-sea fishermen brave the ocean and face a multitude of risks and hardships in pursuit of their catch. The job of a deep-sea fisherman is exceptionally hard due to the extreme working environment, the physically demanding nature of the work, and the unpredictable nature of the sea. These guys spend a long time at sea, often far from land and in rough, unpredictable waters. They face adverse weather conditions such as strong winds, heavy rains, and rough seas, and the constant motion of the boat and exposure to saltwater, wind, and cold temperatures can be physically exhausting and mentally draining. And this is no job for weaklings. Deep-sea fishermen engage in heavy lifting, pulling and maneuvering equipment and heavy nets, so they must possess exceptional physical strength and endurance to handle the strain. The long hours and physically demanding work can lead to fatigue, muscle strains, and injuries. They're exposed to hazards such as large waves, storms, and shifting currents that can capsize or damage their vessels. And they must navigate treacherous waters, often in remote locations, relying on their experience and knowledge to avoid dangers. The isolation and the limited access to immediate medical assistance increases the risks involved. Additionally, the profession of deep-sea fishing is highly competitive and financially unpredictable. The availability and abundance of fish can vary, and success is not guaranteed. So, a hard job and possibly for not much reward. Got it. Check. Number 5. Coal miner. Are you claustrophobic? Well, you'll enjoy the description of this next job. Coal miners face numerous risks and hardships in their daily work, making it an exceptionally hard job. The job of a coal miner is difficult due to the physically demanding nature of the work, the exposures to health hazards, and the psychological toll it can take. Miners often work in confined spaces and must navigate through narrow tunnels and passages. They engage in heavy lifting, carrying equipment, and physically exertive tasks for extended periods. The work can be exhausting, leading to muscle strains, back injuries, and other physical ailments. Coal miners are also exposed to a range of health hazards inherent to that profession. The inhalation of coal dust poses a significant risk to their respiratory health, and prolonged exposure to coal dust can lead to serious lung diseases, such as coal workers' pneumoconiosis, also known as black lung disease. Miners also face the risk of exposure to harmful gases such as methane, which can cause explosions or suffocation in the mines. The constant exposure to noise, vibrations, poor lighting conditions further adds to the health risk. It's hardly shocking that the psychological toll of working in the coal mining industry can be huge. Miners are often working long hours in isolated and challenging conditions away from their families and loved ones, and the constant fear of accidents, collapses, and other life-threatening incidents can lead to stress, anxiety, and mental health issues. And once again, the economic uncertainties associated with the coal mining industry can add to the hardship. Fluctuations in the demand for coal and changes in the industry's landscape can result in job instability and financial challenges for miners and their families, not to mention periods of unemployment. Number 4. Extreme weather photographer. Alright, well, we're back to photography again, but once more, this is a job that's far from relaxing. The job of an extreme weather photographer is exceptionally hard due to the risks involved. They need specialized skills and equipment, and the physical and mental demands of working in extreme conditions. Photographers often find themselves in close proximity to powerful storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, or blizzards. And as these weather phenomena can produce strong winds, torrential rains, lightning, and even flying debris, it poses serious risks to personal safety. Extreme weather photographers must have a deep understanding of the weather patterns and be able to assess risks effectively to avoid dangerous situations. But they also possess specialized skills and knowledge how to capture the essence of these events. They need to have a keen eye for composition and lighting, as well as technical proficiency in adjusting camera settings to adapt to rapidly changing conditions. High levels of precipitation or extreme temperatures, requiring them to be adaptable and resourceful in order to obtain the desired effect. But the physical demands of extreme weather photography can also be significant. Photographers often need to hike long distances, climb steep terrain, and endure adverse weather conditions to reach the perfect vantage point. They may have to carry heavy camera equipment and protective gear, adding to the physical strain. The need for agility, stamina, and the ability to withstand the elements for extended periods make it a physically demanding profession. Number 3. Volcano Explorer. Well, here's another job where the name of the job itself almost tells you everything you need to know, or at least tells you that you'd never want to do it as a 9-to-5 career. Volcano exploration is an incredibly challenging and hazardous endeavor that requires researchers to venture into the heart of some of the Earth's most volatile and unpredictable environments. And if there's anything unpredictable, it's volcanoes. As we all know, they can exhibit sudden and violent eruptions, releasing ash, lava, gases, and pyroclastic flows. These materials can cause severe burns, respiratory problems, and physical injuries, so volcano explorers must be constantly aware of their surroundings and be prepared to react swiftly. Their exploration also requires immense physical stamina and endurance. Researchers often have to hike through challenging terrains, rugged landscapes, steep slopes, and loose volcanic debris. The high altitudes and extreme heat near active volcanoes can further intensify this physical exertion. Carrying heavy equipment such as monitoring devices and scientific instruments adds to the physical demands of this job. They need to be able to recognize the signs of impending eruptions and evaluate the potential risk associated with their work. That level of expertise requires years of study, field experience, and ongoing learning to stay up to date with the latest scientific advancements. And volcanoes aren't easy to get to. Researchers may need to navigate through dense forests, cross treacherous rivers, or even charter helicopters or other aircraft to reach their destination. Number 2. Antarctic Researcher. From one extreme environment to another, our previous entry could quite easily burn your face off, where this one could freeze it off. Antarctic research is a challenging and demanding field that requires scientists and researchers to work in one of the harshest and most extreme environments on Earth. The weather conditions, isolation, logistical challenges, and the physical and mental demands of conducting scientific studies in such a remote and hostile environment is nothing to be sniffed at. Antarctica is known for its frigid temperatures, of course, along with fierce winds and harsh storms, so researchers must withstand sub-zero temperatures and strong winds that can create a significant wind chill factor, making even simple tasks very challenging. These researchers often work in remote and isolated locations with limited access to resources and support. They may be stationed at research bases or camps far away from civilization without easy access to medical supplies or facilities. This isolation and limited contact with the outside world can take a toll on mental well-being, leading to feelings of loneliness, homesickness, and psychological stress. Logistical challenges add to the difficulty of conducting research here. The transportation of personnel, equipment, and supplies to and from the continent is a complex and costly endeavor, as researchers must navigate treacherous waters, unpredictable sea ice, and challenging terrain. They've got to rely on specialized transportation methods such as icebreakers or aircraft, which can be subject to weather-related delays and other logistical constraints. So, along with those mental issues, the harsh conditions and physically strenuous tasks can also lead to fatigue and physical exhaustion. So not a fun career choice. Number 1. Astronaut. Well, we couldn't have a list of difficult jobs without this one, could we? I mean, it doesn't seem too obvious, but the training alone is enough to drive most sane people mad. Becoming an astronaut is a lifelong dream for many, of course, but it's also an incredibly challenging and demanding job that only a select few are chosen for. The job of an astronaut is exceptionally hard due to the rigorous selection process, the demanding training regime, and the physical and psychological effects of space travel, and the immense responsibility to bear. To begin with, the selection process to become an astronaut is highly competitive and rigorous. Candidates must undergo extensive medical and psychological evaluations, as well as demonstrate exceptional skills, qualifications, and experience. The screening process is thorough, with strict criteria to ensure that only the most capable individuals are chosen. Once selected, astronauts face intensive training programs that can last several years. They undergo comprehensive physical training to prepare their bodies for the physiological stress of space travel, including cardiovascular exercises, strength training, and simulations of zero-gravity conditions. They also receive specialized education in fields such as spacecraft systems, navigation, robotics, and extravehicular activities. The human body undergoes profound changes in microgravity environments, including muscle and bone loss, cardiovascular deconditioning, and fluid redistribution. So astronauts must learn to adapt to these conditions and maintain their physical health through exercise and proper nutrition. And do we really need to say anything about the isolation of floating around in space? No, I didn't think so. Well, how about the weight that they're carrying on their shoulders? Astronauts must make split-second decisions in high-pressure situations and work as a cohesive team to troubleshoot problems and ensure the mission's success. The level of concentration, attention to detail, and problem-solving skills required is unparalleled. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you to our channel members.